Talk about that with us, John.
We've got right now, what's going on is something called the Great Reset, where the cabal is trying to take direct control of humanity and trying to basically set up their own slave system, feudal system all over the earth. Now, they currently have an operation going forward to do that, to accomplish that. It's a kind of like a medical tyranny that we're all seeing right now. Now, the moment that this operation falls apart, which it looks like it is right now, it looks like people are becoming wise to it, and it looks like this is pretty much falling apart. The cabal is going to immediately flip over into their next plan to dominate humanity. And it is fake alien invasion. This involves the Tic Tacs that we're seeing all over the place. These Tic Tacs, these sort of flying saucer type devices.
It appears the event is headed your way. Prepare yourself.
Some of them look like Tic Tacs. Some of them are longer, and they're being seen all over the earth right now. And what they are basically is I believe they are American super weapons. They are super weapons. And there is some talk that they may have been reverse engineered from real alien tech, but they are basically American super weapons. And right now we have a giant battle going on between the white hat military and the dark Pentagon that are trying to take control of these Tic Tacs so that they can be used in fake alien invasion. And the only part about it that's fake is that it won't be the actual aliens that are going to be with this invasion. The dark alien, the dark entities, the reptile, the bug is going to actually be working with the cabal, but they will not be seen. They will be putting forward this armada of Tic Tacs to try to bring destruction to our cities. It's going to be real. That part's going to be real. And the vehicles themselves will be real also. So the only part that isn't real, the only reason we say fake, is because the aliens will not be real. You will never be allowed to see the aliens, but you're going to see the Tic Tacs, you're going to see the vehicles, and you're going to see the destruction in our cities. That's going to be real also. Yeah.
The Chinese, because this is no meteor.
And you're going to see the destruction in our cities. That's going to be real also. Yeah, at the very top of the cabal, the top of this pyramid that we all know about, where that giant eye is watching us. The great eye. That's the dark cabal. That's the cabal, the bloodlines, the central banking dynasties that dominate the earth, and that's where they've always been. And they are actually associated with the malevolent aliens.
Cast back into the fiery chasm from whence it came. One does not simply walk into mortar. Its black gates are guarded by more than just orcs. There is evil there that does not sleep.
Associated with the malevolent aliens that are seeking to destroy us. They are always in consultation with them, and we kind of think of those aliens as being reptilians or being mantids. Those are the two varieties that we find in evil most often. So sometimes we refer to them as the bug, the reptile, whatever. And they're always working very closely with the cabal. And they're the ones who give them their script that they have to follow in many, many cases. That stuff is real. The bug is up there, and the bug is always advising the cabal what to do next, what script to follow. And the good thing is that they don't have much imagination when it comes to humans. They tend to follow the same scripts over and over again. And they don't really have much beyond that. So they are predictable. So very often they'll put on a different set of clothing depending on how they want to appear. Whether they want to appear benevolent or malevolent. So they change those. The species, I don't think, really matters that much. What matters is, do they have good intent or ill intent towards us? That's what matters, because I think that's what determines which skin they decide to show that day.
I have faced the great serpents of the north.
Superhumans or transhumans, because that's our only two choices, folks. Right now, we are actually becoming superhumans through our paranormal abilities, through our supernatural abilities that we are displaying, that we are acquiring every day, and becoming greater and greater. However, the Great Reset is about imposing on us transhumanism, which they want us to think it's like superhuman, but it's not. It's becoming an AI-controlled slave for the cabal. That's what transhumanism is. And they're trying to do a lot of things to inject us with AI, to put AI into our systems that is controlled by them. And that's why we are faced with just one choice today. And it is to become superhuman, something above human, or transhuman. Those are the only two choices. Jesus said, I offer you the hand of life and the hand of death. You're going to have to choose, though, which one you want this day. That's where we are, folks. They're very timely books, because everything I've written in my books, the extra dimensionals, the clear hearers, and even the power investigators, it's stuff that we're going through right now. And so it's very important to get those books at this time.
So what makes them unique then?
What makes them unique is that they are talking about the experiences that humans are having right this second. In extra dimensionals, I talk about all the reasons that alien visitors are who they are. What makes us know that they are not physical, and yet that they want to be with us so badly. And why is that? Why do they need us so badly? And I define those things. And in the clear hearers, I talk about your higher self and why your higher self wants to be in communication with you all the time, and how they are in communication with you right now. You just have to listen for it, and then you'll know what the truth really is. The future is very bright, but there are going to be parts of it that are going to be, red October. It's going to be difficult and nasty, and so. But if we know it's going to happen, we can avoid the bad parts, and we can go towards the good parts, which is our active resistance against this fascist system that is trying to be imposed on us right now.
You lack all honor. I have seen how you treat your friends.
This is what I call the Grand Division. I believe, and I'm a scientist, so I don't really say that very often. I usually go off data and scientific measurements, but I believe that the Earth itself matches the criteria for a living thing. Mm-hmm. That Earth is actually a sentient being in space, and we live and have a symbiotic relationship with the planet. And I think a lot of people feel that too. Mm-hmm. And if you go look through history, you will see in everyone's ancient scriptures, when the more part of mankind chooses wickedness, Earth seems to have this allergic reaction. It rises up with a storm or an earthquake or a volcano or something. It spanks the race of mankind back down to a few tribes, and they start over again. But now there are 8 billion of us on this planet, and about half of us are dark and half of us are light as far as our frequencies go. So the planet itself can't really decide whether to destroy us or whether to release its bounty to us. So the planet itself is splitting energetically. We see it in the human resonance. We see it in all kinds of scientific measurements that we're taking. We're seeing this division of the planet itself. And with it, the human race is divided. Higher vibrational beings and lower vibrational beings are separated, even down to families, even down to lifelong friendships, teams, companies. They're dividing. They're pretending like they never knew each other after this.
Right.
Relationships that have lasted for not just lifetimes, generations, they're over. Right. Because this separation is occurring. And that's what we're witnessing. And this is what's being led by, I think, very ancient intelligences, which very well could be the Nephilim, could be the original Watchers. Now, I don't know if all 200 of them are still here, but I think that Semyaza and Azazel are probably active here on the earth right now. And they're not in open war with us. They're in secret war with us. And they're making us fight one another.
They have to capture our soul to stop us.
Well, these are very powerful beings, and they're very old, and they come from other worlds. And they have gone to war with us before, and they have wiped us out by the hundreds of millions. But what they realized in short order, in a few thousand years, is they began facing the same souls again. We reincarnated. We came back. You can't kill an innocent person and end their life. We never die. We're a special class of being. We're on a different course than angels are. We are on a different course. And so they realize that they cannot beat us by killing our mortal body. They have to capture our soul. And the only way to do that is to make us choose wickedness. Now, what is wickedness?
Vast ignorance of the world, it festers and spreads. A shadow that grows in the dark. A sleepless malice as black as the oncoming wall of night. So it ever was. So will it always be. In time, all foul things come forth.
Now, what is wickedness? Well, it could be evil, like you know what evil is.
Right.
But it could also be war. Because when we charge across the frozen tundra at someone else, we're not doing it out of love. We're not doing it out of a high frequency. We're doing it out of rage. We have dehumanized that other side. And we're going to charge across there and cut them to pieces and try to survive it. But even if we do win, our souls are permanently damaged. Just ask any warrior.
The belief system to recycle the soul because you feel like you have unsettled business or you did things that have a karmic influence on your frequency.
How many of you, I know I have, had inklings or flashbacks of other lifetimes?
Yeah.
And in previous lifetimes, I was a warrior. I fought with the best of them, hand to hand, metal to flesh. But in this life, I have never harmed another human being.
Right on.
I overcame it. I lived another life as a gentle person, strong, but gentle. I do not harm other people. And so it is a lesson that we learn. It's a thing that we overcome. That's what makes us special souls. But there are certain things that we do that we can't recover from. And you know what they are. We're seeing it happen around us. Well, I see the transition taking place. But as I said, this earth is dividing. So the original celestial earth, the one with Adam through Noah, we'll call it Eden for lack of a better word, it was on a different course than mankind was when the ark landed. When the beings got out of the ark and they began to interact with the beings that were already here on this planet, we are the result of that. Our genetics are the result of those two races coming together. I know this seems a little bit out there, but if you read Genesis carefully, as an anthropologist, you will see, before you get out of the third chapter of Genesis, you're introduced to 5 beings, none of whom are from here. So there's a lot of off-world presence here on this earth.
Because they're seeing, we have to go into a global civilization before we can go into a universal civilization or a solar type civilization.
Well, any time you try to globalize a population, you're treading into evil. Mankind was meant to be decentralized. It was meant to be individuals, to be free, and to reach the fullness of the measure of their creation. We were never meant to be centrally ruled. To tell you the truth, the earth was ruled by one man and his wooden ships for thousands of years, 5,000-6,000 years. One man at a time ruled the whole world. There was no such thing as freedom or liberty or independence or free will, for that matter. It wasn't until 1776 the founders of the Constitution of the United States decided that a government would be formed where people could reach the measure of the fullness of their creation, whatever they wanted to be. And I would say from 1787, from the last big constitutional convention, until 1933, that's pretty much the way it was. And then in 1933, this agency government, this fascist core of our government, took hold. And it has been tearing this country apart for 88 years. And I don't know if we're going to recover from it. But it is very difficult to salvage what is left of what this nation has become. And if this nation goes away, freedom and liberty disappear from the earth forever.
We're going to get right into it. There was a war that took place. Some say it's still taking place. And if we take modern interpretation, we don't see these as angels or demons. We see these as aliens, advanced technology beings that apparently have a life form that has the ability to transmute matter instantaneously. A rebel. But really, what kind of battle would be going on? Are they using thought weapons? Are they using light weapons? Are they using energy pulse weapons? I mean, what kind of war are they talking about? I mean, if they're using swords, there ain't no kind of sword built here on Earth. I'm just talking. But you're telling me that something happened up there. Well, we don't know. But we know the result. Apparently, if you're born here, well, you have an eternal fate at play. Your very soul is in play. Wow. And again, that gets into the debate then. If I have a soul and I have a spirit, then which one is more important to me? Is my spirit my personality? Is my soul my attributes? It would seem reasonable to suppose that God intended to place human beings on earth by a method of birth that prevented their having knowledge of other worlds beyond what he decided to reveal to our first parents personally, and to future generations through his prophets and the scriptures. Does this sound like a freaking trap to you?
Anyway, you need people of intelligence on this sort of mission. Quest. Thank you. Where are we going?